As a lifelong car enthusiast and a 20-year veteran of law enforcement, I've seen it all: grit, glory, and everything in between. But nothing soothes my soul like restoring classic cars, with my crown jewel being a 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback, a masterpiece forged from blood, sweat, and countless late nights scouring for original parts, sanding panels to perfection, and tuning its engine to purr like it rolled off the assembly line. When I settled into what seemed like a tranquil, respectable neighborhood a few years back, I thought I'd found the ideal haven to showcase my Mustang. Decent homes, tidy streets, good folks, or so I believed. What I hadn't anticipated was the one force that can turn any peaceful community into a battleground: an HOA dictator named Karen, whose reign of petty terror was about to collide with my world. Before we dive into this high-octane clash, drop a comment with the country you're watching from. Let us see how far this tale of horsepower and karma races across the globe. The storm broke on a sunny Saturday afternoon, the kind made for wrenching and waxing, with my Mustang gleaming in the driveway, its freshly polished hood catching the sun's rays like a mirror. Classic rock hummed softly from my speakers, and for once, my mind was free of police chief duties, just me, my car, and a moment of pure contentment. Then came the voice that shattered the calm, shrill and dripping with entitlement. "Oh my God, is that a Mustang?" I glanced up to see Karen strutting down the sidewalk like she owned the entire block. Her teenage son Tyler slouching behind her, headphones dangling, phone in hand, radiating spoiled brat energy. At 17 or 18, he carried the swagger of someone convinced the world revolved around him. Karen halted abruptly, eyeing my car like a vulture spotting carrion. My family had one just like that growing up. What a beauty, she gushed with exaggerated flair. I offered a polite smile, wiping my hands on a rag. Yep, 67 Fastback. Took years to restore her. Tyler edged closer, his gaze greedy, and without a hint of hesitation, he demanded, "Cool, hand over the keys, I'm taking it for a spin." I thought it was a joke, chuckling lightly, but his dead serious stare told me otherwise. "Sorry, bud," I replied firmly. "This car doesn't leave my driveway unless I'm driving." That's when the air shifted, the first spark of conflict igniting. Karen's face contorted, her arms crossing tightly as her voice spiked into that dreaded HOA tone. "Oh, come on. It's just a car. My son deserves to experience something nice for once. You're part of this community, you should share. That's what neighbors do." I blinked, stunned. Was she genuinely demanding I surrender my prized Mustang? A car worth more than most salaries. Like it was a communal toy. "Ma'am," I said, keeping my tone measured but firm. "This car's not just valuable, it's delicate and deeply personal. Nobody drives it. Not family, not friends, nobody but me." Karen scoffed, waving a dismissive hand. "Please, Tyler's responsible. You should be thrilled someone appreciates your dusty old relic." Then, with a venomous smirk, she added, "Besides, HOA rules don't even allow cars like this parked in driveways for long. It's an eyesore. If you're going to be so selfish, keep it in your garage." Tyler chimed in, sneering, "Yeah, don't be a jerk, old man. Let me drive it." My patience snapped like a taut wire. "Enough," I said sharply. "This conversation's done." Karen's lips pursed into a thin, furious line, her eyes glinting with malice. Then, with a theatrical flourish, she yanked out her phone. "You know what? I don't think this car's even yours. It looks stolen. I'm calling the police." I nearly laughed at the absurdity, but instead leaned against the Mustang, arms crossed, a calm defiance settling in. "Go right ahead." The gauntlet was thrown, and the suspense began to coil. What would happen when her bluff met reality? 5 minutes later, the distant wail of sirens cut through the neighborhood's quiet, and two squad cars rolled up, their lights flashing ominously. By now, a small crowd of neighbors had gathered, drawn by the brewing drama, their whispers adding to the mounting tension. Karen stood triumphant, practically glowing as she waved the officers over like a conductor directing a symphony of chaos. There, she cried, pointing at the Mustang. That's the stolen vehicle. Arrest him. The officers stepped out, took one look at me, and instantly snapped to attention. Good afternoon, Chief, one said with a respectful nod, his voice cutting through the charged air. The crowd fell silent, a collective gasp rippling through as Karen's smug facade crumbled, her mouth flapping uselessly like a stranded fish. Whispers erupted. The chief? He's the police chief. I grinned, leaning casually against my car. Afternoon. Officers? Looks like someone's wasting your time again. Karen stammered, her voice faltering. Wait, you're the chief? But that car, it's mine. I cut her off, voice steady but laced with authority. Fully registered, fully insured, and perfectly legal right where it stands. What's not legal is filing a false police report. The officers turned to her, their expressions hardening. Ma'am, one said sternly, falsely reporting a stolen vehicle is a serious offense. You could face charges. Karen's bravado evaporated, her face palling as Tyler muttered, This is so stupid, slinking behind her. The officers delivered a pointed lecture, their words heavy with warning, before driving off, leaving Karen humiliated and the neighborhood buzzing. But the question lingered, would her defeat hold? Or was this just the opening salvo in her vendetta? If this tale of HOA arrogance and instant karma has you hooked, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic showdowns, because Karen wasn't about to slink away quietly, and the stakes were about to climb higher. A week later, at the monthly HOA meeting, she reignited her campaign, the tension palpable as neighbors packed the community room, sensing another round brewing. Karen stood at the podium, her voice dripping with righteous indignation. I'm filing an official complaint about that car, she declared. It's too flashy, attracts attention, and violates our neighborhood's aesthetic. It shouldn't be in a driveway, it's a clear HOA violation. I rose calmly, my copy of the bylaws in hand, ready to douse her claims. Actually, I've read the rules. My Mustang's operable, insured, registered, and legally parked on my property. The only violation here is your relentless harassment. The room shifted uncomfortably, eyes darting between us. Then, a neighbor broke the silence, his voice firm. Karen, with all due respect, that Mustang's a gem. It's a piece of history, and we're proud our police chief lives here. It makes us safer. Murmurs of agreement rippled through, heads nodding, leaving Karen's face flushed with embarrassment as her allies dwindled. Outnumbered, she clamped her mouth shut, the defeat stinging. But her bitter glances my way hinted at lingering resentment. Would she dare strike again? Karen kept her distance after that public smackdown, but her scowls as I drove past her house spoke volumes, the unresolved tension simmering like a storm on the horizon. So, when our neighborhood hosted a charity car show a month later, I seized the chance to make a statement, parking my Mustang front and center, its chrome gleaming under the sun. Neighbors, kids, and car buffs from miles around flocked to admire it, snapping photos, asking about its history, sharing nostalgic tales of their own classic car memories. The crowd's enthusiasm was electric, amplifying the stakes as I spotted Tyler weaving through, his eyes still locked on my car with that same greedy glint. Deciding to extend an olive branch, I called out, Hey, kid, no driving. But you can sit inside for a photo if you want. His face lit up like he'd won the lottery, sliding into the driver's seat with a grin, his friend clicking away with a camera. Karen hovered in the background, arms crossed, her expression sour as if she'd swallowed a wasp. That moment marked her final surrender. She never called the cops again, never raised my car at HOA meetings, and never dared demand anything from me. Her reign of petty terror had crashed against the unyielding pride of a police chief and his Mustang. Now, every Saturday, you'll find me in my driveway, polishing my fastback to a mirror shine. Neighbors waving warmly, kids pausing to gawk at its timeless curves. Karen still glares when she pauses, her bitterness a faint echo of her failed crusade. But I just flash a grin, secure in my peace. My car, my home, and my community stands stronger than ever. A testament that when you mess with the chief, You don't just lose, you learn who really holds the keys in this neighborhood. Subscribe for more.